What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about where to set your take profits. Now, I do cover this in a lot of our strategy videos. However, I have been getting a lot of questions recently asking if I could make a specific video on it. So here it is, the take profit video. And in just a minute, we're going to jump into the charts and I'm going to show you 3 different take profit methods. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these great tutorials or urgent market updates that we will be posting to the channel. Now, when it comes to taking profit, there's a few different ways you can do it, right? You can ladder out your profits, setting multiple levels, or you can pick a level and exit your entire trade at that level. And there's also a few different strategies you can use to find these levels, right? So without further ado, let's jump into the charts and check out our first method. So here we are on the Ethereum 4-hour chart. Let's just say you're looking at this chart. You are looking at your 50 period moving average right here, and you're seeing that you're coming up to test it, and you are noticing that you are below the moving average and you are looking for a short position. So you come up and you're testing this moving average. So let's go ahead and grab our short position tool and set it at the current price. Now, where do you set your take profit level? Now, what you want to do is you want to find levels that price has reacted off of already, right? So support levels, resistance levels, and these are where you want to probably take at least a little money off the table, as you could possibly see a bounce off of this level. So for this specific trade, I would go ahead, and this is not a stop loss video, but I will show you guys how I set my stop loss. Now, typically, if you are using a moving average, it is good to keep your stop loss at least a little bit above that moving average. If you do get rejected and or if you actually happen to wick up, you're not going to immediately get stopped out. So, you know, how high above the moving average you set your stop loss is going to be dependent on your risk tolerance. But for me, I would probably set it, you know, somewhere around here, right? Just above that moving average. Now, for your take profit, if we zoom out a little bit here, you can see that the level I have drawn right here, you know, we got respect on this level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 times, right? So you can expect that maybe next time price comes down to this level, you might get a little bit of a bounce, right? So I would set my first take profit level. You know, you can set it right on the level. I recommend setting it a little bit before, just in case you have something like this happen where you have the wick just come close, but not quite, and then go back up. So you can set it a little bit above. Now, and that's very similar to how you set your take profit, just a little bit above the moving average and not right on the moving average. You want to give yourself a little wiggle room for those crazy wicks that happen sometimes. So there we are. We got it right above this support level right here for our take profit and right above the moving average for our stop loss. So let's go ahead and hit play and see how this trade would have played out. So boom, there you go. We hit our take profit. And, you know, that would have been for a 7% gain, right? So we are on the 4-hour chart. Throw a little 10x leverage on it and turn that into 70% profit on your trade. So let's go ahead in time and see if we can find another trade, and we'll set another stop loss and take profit. So not too far in the future here, this was our last trade that was a winner, right? Not too far ahead of that, right? We have price approaching where our take profit was, right? It was a support level. Now, it is possible that this could turn into resistance. So for example, let's just say we want to wait for price to come up and test this resistance line. And there you go. Let's just say, I'm not saying this is a perfect setup for a trade. I'm just using this as an example. Let's grab our short position tool and see if we can catch another short. So here you go. We do have, you know, our stop loss right here, and I'm going to set that right above our moving average. And, you know, you can do this if you're not using a moving average. If there was no moving average here, basically what I would do is set my stop loss right above this white resistance line, right? So you also want to obviously give yourself a little bit of room, you know, just in case you wick above this line before coming back down. So I'm going to set it right about there. And then for our take profit, what I would do is, again, you can see on this level, we've got respect here, right? We respected this level as support. We respected this level as resistance. And if you go back, you can see you got respected as support here, here, and then here again, almost here, didn't quite come down, but you know, you basically bounced off this level here, right? So you can expect if price is going to come back down to this level, you may see a bounce. So what I would do, I would set my take profit right above this support line. So let's go ahead and hit play and see how this one played out. Boom. There you go. And it did hit our take profit right. Now, if you wanted to set multiple take profit levels, what you could do is, as you can see here, we got a little bit of support, and we're going to go back in time and see if we found support on this level in the past. And yes, we have. It also acted as resistance here. So you can call that another level. And, you know, if you wanted to, as soon as you hit this take profit, maybe you take half your trade out, 40%, 25%, whatever it is, and then you leave some in and you set your next take profit level at this next level of support. So that is another important thing, right? If we're talking about take profits, you can exit 100% of your trade, but if you wanted to just exit part of your trade and have a take profit 1, a take profit 2, and a take profit 3, or take profit 4, whatever it may be, you can take a certain amount of profit out at each level. So basically, you know, the gist of this is you want to set your stop loss and your take profit both above or below, depending on what you're talking about, a level. You want to draw your levels, because if you've been bouncing off of that level at some point, chances are if price approaches it again, you might get a bounce. So it might be a good time to take a little off the table. And, you know, as far as stop loss goes, you might want to set it a little bit, you know, above or below a resistance or support line. That way, you know, if you wind up breaking that support line and it keeps going past it, you'll come out of the trade early rather than riding it all the way down. And it is important to leave yourself a little room, because sometimes you can wick above, you know, sometimes right here, you know, you want to give yourself a little breathing room, right? Because if we had it right on this support line, we would have gotten wicked out immediately right here. You can see that green candle popped right through. We would have got stopped out right away. And you don't want to wind up being in trades just getting stopped out and stopped out and stopped out right away. So it is important that you give yourself at least a little breathing room, right? Again, it's going to be dependent on your risk tolerance. So long story short, you're essentially just using your support and resistance lines, you know, or moving averages, right? Because all a moving average is dynamic support and resistance that moves with price action. You're just using support and resistance and then giving yourself a little breathing room on the stop loss. And then you're setting your take profit, you know, a little before the level, so you can get out a little early, just in case price doesn't really come up and actually touch the line, right? So you're just using support and resistance levels, and then, you know, basing your take profit and your stop loss based off of that. Now, you can also use the Fibonacci retracement tool to plot levels on your chart, and then you can take your profits at certain Fibonacci levels, right? As they typically act as strong support and resistance. So you can draw a Fibonacci level if you, you know, set your stop loss below or above, depending on what you're talking about on those levels, because you would most likely see a bounce off of these levels. And, you know, you can do it that way. You can also do it with the spider lines video. If you have not seen my spider line video, they are basically just support and resistance lines drawn in a very specific way, but they're very strong levels. I will link the video up above in a card here, and you can click there and watch that after this video. But you could take profits on spider lines as well, right? If you see you're approaching a spider line, you're going to expect a bounce. And so you can set your take profit just before that level. Now let's go on to our second method, and that is setting your take profit above the last swing high or below the last swing low, depending on if you're longing or shorting. Okay, so now we are on our Bitcoin 1 hour chart. And let's say that you see price approaching one of your support lines, right? Let's go ahead and move forward in time a little bit here. You see it getting closer and closer, and boom, you're getting, you know, closer and closer. You see it starting to bounce. Again, this is not a trading strategy video. I'm not saying this is a great trading setup. I'm just using this as an example. So let's go ahead and say you want to go long right here. We're going to go click this, click long position, and let's go ahead and see if we can catch a long right here. Now, for your stop loss and your take profit, right? Again, this is not a stop loss video, but I'll just do it because it's relevant. You know, my stop loss, I would put, you know, a little bit below this support line, right? To give myself, you know, a little bit of room in case we wick down below this support line. That way we don't get stopped out immediately. And then for our take profit, what you can do is set it above the last swing high, right? So really, you know, we do have a spider line here, this green dashed line. So, you know, we do have a swing high right here, right by that spider line. So I'm going to set my take profit right below this spider line, right? Because I would expect a bounce off of this. So if I think price is going to, bounce up and come up here, I would expect it to get at least some sort of a bounce down off of this level. So I'm going to set my take profit right before this level. It's also pretty close to this swing high. Basic rule of thumb, this is one of the simpler methods. You can just set your take profit above the last swing high, right? So we are near a previous swing high as well as right near this spider line. Now, I'm not going to set my take profit above this swing high because we do have this spider line here. So I'm going to set it right below this spider line, and let's see if we can get this one to win. And there you go. We hit our take profit right here before that spider line. We did pop over the spider line, right? Like I said, you can add multiple take profit levels if you wanted to take part of your trade out here, if you thought it was going to go higher. We do have another level of resistance here. So chances are we may, break back below this spider line or bounce off this resistance and come down. But to simplify it, you just want to go, this is kind of a mixture of both, but you could have set your take profit above that last swing high and it still would have been a winner. But I just decided to be a little conservative and set it below this spider line, right? We're already getting 5.5% profit or 55% profit with 10x leverage. So that was good for me. And this one was a pretty good risk to reward ratio at 4.08, right? So very little risk for a decent reward. So that is, that's something to take into consideration as well. So let's see if we can find another example of how to use this method of setting your take profit above the previous swing high further down the charts. So as you can see here, we are approaching support right on the Bitcoin 1 hour chart. And, it acted as resistance, right? And a little bit of support there as well, but we kind of bounced off it right there. Didn't come quite to it, but you see price approaching this level again, right? So let's just say, for example, you wanted to go long here. Let's go ahead and add our long position tool. And let's say you get in about here, right? And we're not using the replay tool this time, but I'm just going to go ahead and set this level here. Now, take profit, you have your last swing high right here, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and set it right at, right above the candle body, right? Not the wick, I'm setting it above the candle body. And then for our stop loss, you could go ahead and just drag it right, below. I would, you can see here that we've wicked down below this level a couple times. So it depends on your risk tolerance, but you can set it right below those wicks just in case, you do wick down again and hit that level, hit this level right here where these wicks bounced off of. You do have a little room to not get stopped out there. So your risk to reward ratio is 2.4 about, so not a bad risk to reward. And as you can see, obviously this one got hit right here. We came out and profited, right? And then, if you wanted to set this and make this your take profit 1, you can go ahead and set another take profit level. Now you can notice here, there's no previous swing high, right? Here's just an empty chart. Now what you can do is you can grab your trend line tool and go ahead and draw a trend line on top of these candles like this, and then you can add another take profit level when you're approaching this trend line, right? Because you may see a little resistance at this trend line because, we bounced here, came up, bounced again, and then we came up here, bounced again, and then you can expect to maybe bounce again right here. So you can set another take profit level right here. And, if you did, you would get about 2.1% profit on this first take profit. And then from here to your second take profit, you get another 1% or another 12% with 10x leverage. That's the beauty of leverage, everybody. So that is another way. Basically, you just want to find levels and take profits right before you hit those levels. So whether it's a horizontal level of support and resistance, whether it's a spider line, a Fibonacci level, right? Or a trend line, as long as it is a area of support or resistance, that's where you're going to want to look to take profits. So guys, I think that's all I got for this one. Pretty short and simple. I don't think we really numbered them, method 1, method 2, method 3, but really when it comes down to it, you essentially just want to take your profits before you reach a level of support and resistance is really what it comes down to. The other method is really setting your take profit right before your last swing high, finding your last swing high and then setting it right before you bounce. But even that is essentially, if you draw levels, chances are you're going to have a level right at that swing high. So you're going to want to find support and resistance, depending on if you're longing or shorting, and your take profits are going to be based off of that. So you're approaching a resistance line. If you're longing, you're gonna have your resistance line, and you're gonna want to set your take profit right below that. You know, like I said, just in case you don't come up and touch that line exactly, you're gonna want to set it a little bit below. So pretty cut and dry, pretty simple, right? Threw a little stop loss stuff in this video as well, but yeah. And then again, you can set multiple take profit levels, or you can exit 100%. But essentially, you're just gonna want to draw levels, whether you're using the Fibonacci retracement, whether you're using spider lines, whether you're using the previous swing highs. Essentially, you're just gonna draw your levels, draw your lines, and look at your next level that you're on the way to, the next level of resistance or the next level of support if you're shorting, and then take profit right before you hit those levels. So I hope that helps you guys out. With all that being said, I think that's all I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor.